There are 4 times in the year where my friends, and now you, know what I'm doing. I might not actually be doing it, but if I'm not doing it, I'm thinking about it during those 4 times. And we're about to be in one of those times. The US Open starts next week. And I watch every Grand Slam during the tennis season. Hennessy Youngman, aka Jason Missoon, whose art thoughts take the form of tutorials on YouTube, educates viewers on contemporary art issues. In one of his many videos, he addresses how to become a successful Black artist. Wiley suggesting Black people's anger is marketable. He advises Black artists to cultivate an angry nigger exterior by watching, among other things, the Rodney King video while working. Youngman's suggestions are meant to expose expectations for Blackness, as well as to underscore the difficulty inherent in any attempt by Black artists to metabolize real rage. The commodified anger his video advocates rests lightly on the surface for spectacle's sake. It can be engaged or played like the race card, and is tied solely to the performance of Blackness and not to the emotional state of particular individuals in particular situations. On the bridge between this sellable anger and the artist resides at times an actual anger. Youngman in his video doesn't address this type of anger, the anger built up through experience and the quotidian struggles against dehumanization every brown or Black person lives simply because of skin color. This other kind of anger in time can prevent, rather than sponsor, the production of anything except loneliness. You begin to think, maybe erroneously, that this other kind of anger is really a kind of knowledge, the type that both clarifies and disappoints. It responds to insult and attempted erasure simply by asserting presence and the energy required to present, to react, to assert, is accompanied by visceral disappointment, a disappointment in the sense that no amount of visibility will alter the ways in which one is perceived. Recognition of this lack might break you apart, or recognition might illuminate the erasure, the attempted erasure triggers. Whether such discerning creates a healthier, if more isolated, self, you can't know. In any case, Youngman doesn't speak to this kind of anger. He doesn't say that witnessing the expression of this more ordinary and daily anger might make the witness believe that a person is insane. And insane is what you think. One Sunday afternoon, drinking an Arnold Palmer, watching the 2009 Women's US Open final. When brought to full attention by the suddenly explosive behavior of Serena Williams. Serena in HD before your eyes becomes overcome by a rage you recognize and have been taught to hold at a distance for your own good. Serena's behavior on this particular Sunday afternoon suggests that all the injustice she has played through all the years of her illustrious career flashes before her, and she decides finally to respond to all of it with a string of invectives. Nothing, not even the repetition of negations. No, no, no. She employed in a similar situation years before as a younger player at the 2004 US Open. Prepare you for this. Oh my God, she's gone crazy, you say to no one. What does a victorious or defeated Black woman's body in a historically white space look like? Serena and her big sister Venus Williams brought to mind Zora Neale Hurston's "I feel most colored when I'm thrown against a sharp white background." This appropriated line, stenciled on canvas by Glenn Ligon, who used plastic letter stencils, smudging oil sticks and a graphite to transform the words into abstractions, seemed to be ad copy for some aspect of life for all Black people. Hurston's statement has been played out on the big screen by Serena and Venus. They win sometimes. They lose sometimes. They've been injured. They've been happy. They've been sad. Ignored, booed mightily. They've been cheered, and through it all, and evident to all, were those people who were enraged that they were there at all. Graphite against a sharp white background. For years, you attribute to Serena Williams a kind of resilience appropriate only to those who exist in celluloid. Neither her father, nor her mother, nor her sister, nor Jehovah her God, nor Nike camp could shield her ultimately from people who felt her Black body didn't belong on their court, in their world. From the start, many made it clear Serena would have done better struggling to survive in the two-dimensionality of a Millet painting, rather than on their tennis court. Better to put all that strength to work in their fantasy of her working the land, rather than be caught up in the turbulence of our ancient dramas, like a ship fighting a storm in a Turner seascape. The most notable and notorious of Serena's detractors takes the form of Mariana Alvarez, the distinguished tennis chair umpire. In 2004, Alvarez was excused from officiating any more matches on the final day of the US Open after she made 5 bad calls against Serena in her semi-final matchup against fellow American Jennifer Capriati. The serves in return Alvarez called out were landing stunningly unreturned by Capriati, inside the lines, no discerning eyesight needed. Commentators, spectators, television viewers, line judges, everyone could see the balls were good, except, apparently, Alvarez, the umpire. No one could understand what was happening. Serena, in her denim skirt, black sneaker boots, and dark mascara, began wagging her finger and saying, "No, no, no, no," as if by negating the moment she could propel us back into a legible world. Tennis superstar John McEnroe, given his own key eye for injustice during his professional career, was shocked that Serena was able to hold it together after losing the match. So, in my last few minutes, I thought I would. We've had fiction readings and poetry and whatever that is. And so I thought I would read a little bit of a New York Times piece that I published a few weeks ago. It seemed like a good idea because then when I don't finish, because I won't finish, I'll read a paragraph or two, you can go to the New York Times if you want, or not. That's what makes life so wonderful. One day in New Haven, where I live, staring into the semicircle of oak trees in my backyard, I wondered what it would mean to ask random white men how they understand their privilege. I imagined myself, a middle-aged black woman, walking up to strangers and doing so. Would they react as the police captain in Plainfield, Indiana did when his female colleague told him during a diversity training session that he benefited from white male privilege? He became angry and accused her of using a racialized slur against him. She was placed on administrative leave, and a reprimand was placed permanently in her file. And I'll say that when the piece was published in the Times, she wrote to me. I had never spoken to her. She wrote to me, and she said, not only was I placed on leave, when I was allowed to return to my job, I was moved away from having any influence on the other officers. She can now only interact with the public because they felt she was a bad influence, because she had mentioned to this other officer that maybe he doesn't understand certain things because of his white male privilege. That's all that happened. Would they think, would I too be accused? Would I hear myself asking about white male privilege and then watch white man after white man walk away as if I were mute? Would they think I worked for Trevor Noah or Stephen Colbert and just forgot my camera crew? The running comment in our current political climate is that we all need to converse with people we don't normally speak to. And though my husband is white, I found myself falling into easy banter with all kinds of strangers except white men. They rarely sought me out to shoot the breeze, and I did not seek them out. Maybe it was time to engage, even if my fantasies of these encounters seemed outlandish. I wanted to try. Thank you.